and welcome to Unprofessional Engineering. My name is James.
And you got Luke.
Luke, we're continuing our series on great engineering universities. This time going out to the wild west of California and looking at Stanford University.
So, for the record, and I think you just said it this way, up until I did my research and got onto the Google machines, I thought it was Stanford because when people
Stanford.
But when people say it, it sounds like there's a soft. You just said at the beginning.
I said Stanford.
There's
I swear I did.
I feel like people put a soft D in the middle of it, like Stanford. Did you hear the soft D?
I didn't.
It's there, Stanford.
People also, well, I guess maybe. People also say windmill. They also say Star Trek.
Window
seal. Window seal, right.
So we spent a little bit of time with some seals yesterday to celebrate Earth Day on one of our team meetings. We were at the New England Aquarium with some seal trainers. It was amazing. Sorry, that's awesome. That's a whole side note I should have told you about off camera.
My goodness, you should have, but I want to hear about it after this. All right, Luke, you know I love history.
You do,
but I didn't do a lot of history research this time. Did you do a lot?
So I did a fair amount, and by a fair amount,
that up.
I mean
almost knew.
Screen capturing.
Okay, well done.
So Stanford. No soft D in the middle. University was founded in 1885 in California by Senator Leland Stanford and his wife Jane. Have we ever used the female name Jane? Have we ever talked about Jane? It's not a very common name nowadays, is it?
No, it is kind of an old-timey name.
Have you met a Jane ever? I know one.
I don't think I have.
Okay. Apparently, she was really involved, too. It wasn't she was just his wife, but she was very involved in the planning.
She was a very
progressive
woman. Yes,
very progressive. And there's a quote that says, the purpose was to promote the public welfare by exercising an influence on behalf of humanity and civilization. And that seems like a very lofty mission statement for 1885. I can't spell 7 of those words. And they're thrown around back in 1885. So a little bit of history on the founders. Leland Stanford, he was born in 1824. He was a bit of a cradle robber. His wife was born in 1828, so he was 4 years her senior. Jane was born in 1828. Leland was elected to be governor of California on September 4th, 1861. Leland Stanford Jr., his son, was born in 1868. 1869, so Leland was very involved in the railroad industry.
That's where he got that money.
That's where he got all the cheddar.
I'm sure being governor probably didn't hurt.
Didn't hurt. I mean,
clearly. And a senator. But
exactly, which we're getting to.
Oh, my bad. I'm sorry.
So Leland Stanford drives a golden spike at Promontory, Utah, for the first transcontinental railroad. I'm sure I'm saying that name incorrect, the location. It's Promontory. This was the beginning of the Intercontinental Railroad. His son dies at 15. Tragedy strikes the family. A year later, though, he must have obviously recovered well enough to run for senator. So he became the Senator of California in 1885. So then in 1885, funding was granted for the university to begin. So while it was founded in 1885, it didn't actually open for business for a little while. The cornerstone for the university, the very first building, was laid in 1887. David Starr Jordan accepts the offer to be the first university's president. I have no idea who he is. I should have done a little more research on him.
That's Michael Jordan's great-great-grandfather.
Are you kidding?
I know, right? Isn't
that is bananas?
That really is not accurate at all.
1891, October 1st, the opening day of the university warmly welcomes 500 and 55 students registered for their first year. And
Oh,
the
I saw
rest,
559.
I'm sorry, I saw 550, and the rest, as they say, James, is history. Unless
Is
you had any
history.
additional pieces to add to that.
I have so much additional history, Luke.
Shoot.
Fun fact type history. The campus is still nicknamed The Farm because it was founded on a 8,180 acre farm in Palo Alto, of course, given by Leland Stanford, along with a big old pile of cash to make stuff happen. So that was nice. That must be worth a boatload of money today.
On kind of not a nice fun fact, I heard that it's on top of some Native American ancestral grounds.
I had something about that. Yeah, so it sits on the Muwekma tribe land. But apparently, it's great importance to that tribe still. And the people, like the university and the tribe, work together as partners in the community for like leading archaeological stuff, historical things, and they also have like a native plant garden and stuff.
So probably good like now,
together.
but like back in the day, it was probably wasn't
yeah.
great relationships, I imagine.
I'm sure not.
Gotcha.
Couple other fun, not so fun facts. Second fun fact is the university's official name, still to this day, is the Leland Stanford Junior University, because this was all made in memorial to their son who died so young. Yeah. And so that's
nice. A mouthful when you're at a basketball game.
Probably why they don't go with that whole one. Yeah. Who's gonna win? Leland Stanford Junior University. Yeah. You got the starting students. Oh, the campus was designed by Frederick Law Olmsted. So I know you love your like architects out there.
I do.
So.
I don't know that one. I'll have to look him up.
Oh, well, there you go. And that was all I had for the rest of history.
All righty. So I have a series of, these are current facts, like, and some of them are historical. So
they wouldn't be current.
Well, it's a combination of the two. So some of them are like things that are going on now. So currently, as of 2021, there are 7,645 undergraduate students. These are
so few.
I know. I was expecting it to be a lot bigger, but
I thought they were like well,
has
maybe
something
that's
to do with how many people.
I did think they were like maybe not Texas A&M, but like 40,000 schools.
Yeah. So and then they do a boatload of graduate work in comparison. They have over 9,000, like 9,200 graduate students. So those of you that don't know the difference, a graduate student is someone who already has obtained their baccalaureate degree. I think that's how you pronounce it.
I think so. It should be if it isn't.
They're doing a master's or a PhD or something above that kind of starting point at a baccalaureate. The crazy part is the ratio is bananas because they have so few students, a total of, what is that, 14, like 16, 1,700 students. They have 22, they have 2,288 faculty members. They have 20 Nobel laureates, which is crazy. So the student to faculty ratio,
school would have the most. That's interesting.
I might have to look that one up.
I won't.
They have a 5-to-1 student to faculty ratio, which is bananas. Because I'm sure you remember Penn State. You'd walk into an auditorium
like a 42,000 to 1
with like 400 students in a single auditorium.
600 plus. Oh yeah.
And there'd be a teacher and a TA standing up front with like a bullhorn. Can you hear me back there?
Yeah. Here. Like sign this thing to show that you attended. Okay. Yeah. Or have your friend do it because no one's ever gonna know.
The campus is sitting on 8,000 plus contiguous acres. Contiguous means they all touch. In case you don't know what contiguous means, all kinds of learning today. Yeah. 700 individual buildings. They have a total annual budget of 1.69 billion with a B. The president currently is a Kappa, and they have Mark with a C. Tesser Lavgin, Lavin. Tesser Lavgin, and the provost is Paris Drell. I'm sure I'm pronouncing her name incorrectly. They have 7 schools: business, Earth and environmental, education, engineering, science and humanities, law and medicine, and they get a bunch of endowments, 37.8 billion as of August 31st, 2021. Big money.
Huh. I guess that goes to like research or campus improvements.
Yeah, or to students
funding
and
students.
funding students. Yeah.
Gotcha.
So.
Okay. Wow. Well, before we go on with any more crazy good information about Stanford. See, let's take a break for a word from our sponsor.
I have to assume it's the Leland Junior Stanford University.
Stanford Junior University. It's part of that 30-something billion dollar endowment or
Would
whatever.
Would they miss a couple $100,000 if they just gave it to us?
Yeah, no, they would not. But I would appreciate it. They did not do that, though.
Mm.
We do have 2 shout-outs, though.
Sweet. Who do we got?
Shout out number 1, Mo G. Just a great name, Mo G. That's so awesome.
If my name was Mo and my last initial was G, I would go by Mo G.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Oh, well, yeah. I have a friend that sometimes goes by Mo, and I love it. The subject of the email was "Sup, dogs." So, I mean, of course, I have to click that one.
Love them already.
It says, "Hiya, I'm a Mech-E that works for the government, GOV''T, sending a message in to get some shiny stickers, or maybe even a t-shirt to replace my aging wardrobe. Even get a shout out to all the engineers. Mech-E's preferable. No? Fine, all engineers." I like Mo. "Thank you for all the episodes you've done so far. It helps me to keep mentally occupied on my hour commute each way. Yuck." And I said, well, sorry, Mo, no shirts because we're broke and we don't like our listeners that much.
And you got to buy them now. We'll talk about that in a
second. That's right. That's what I was just going to say. Head on over to unprofessionalengineering.com and you can check out our store and buy whatever t-shirt you want on your own. And sorry for the crazy pricing on them, but that's how it works. So there's that. Luke, we have made great progress on the store. I think we sold a hat the other day. I don't even remember putting a hat on there as an option. So I hope it's one of ours. But really cool. Thanks for everyone who's been going to the store and supporting us. Write in and show us your sweet gear when you get it.
For the record, James is not sharing any of that income with me. He purposely left me out of the loop on this. So I'm sure it's like thousands of pennies.
We've sold multiple stickers, t-shirts, and a hat. We're still in the teens of dollars in profit, Luke. Teens. So second shout out, Josh M. First off, just wanted to let you guys know how much you don't suck. I just love our listeners.
I love it.
Love the podcast and listen to it at work all the time. Having recently moved out on my own and getting married, I was wondering if you guys have ever done an episode on the top home decor for engineers. I love what I do, and my wife has given me permission to have a man cave, so looking for some inspiration. I think that's a great idea, Luke.
I think it is too.
He mentioned that he found patent toilet paper, which is pretty awesome.
With pictures on it?
Yeah, I think so. So that would be pretty cool. And then cool coasters for beer.
I'm also thinking DIY stuff. I know a lot of engineers, if you go on YouTube, there's a boatload that make their own furniture or make their own cabinets and I've been thinking about doing some decorations on my wall that are kind of engineering-ish.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, so I'd love to do that. Anyways, if any of you have any suggestions as to home decor, if you want to suggest some episodes, if you want to go to our store and buy some stuff so we can get rich and famous, anything like that, why don't you email us at unprofessionalengineering@gmail.com.
And don't forget to subscribe, we love the reviews, and as always, you can tell your smart devices to play the Unprofessional Engineering Podcast.
Love it. Luke, I wanted to talk about getting accepted into this prestigious university.
That's the one thing in all my notes I was looking, I didn't see that. So
you don't want to get into that? Okay.
Shoot.
Okay, so first things first, SAT scores, which I'm told might be going away someday. If you know anything about the SATs, the higher the number, the better. The average math score for getting into Stanford is average out of 800 is a 770, and the average reading writing score is 735. little more reasonable. And then the other part, the written part, I don't know, whatever it is. Well, no, I guess that's the total for the three. So total, you need a 1505. That's pretty darn solid. The 25th percentile, so like the people who just squeak in because they're paying out of state tuition and they I don't know if that's the case. Maybe it's private anyways, so it doesn't matter. 25th percentile is about a 740 in math, still so good. And reading and writing, which was a 700, and I was nowhere near 700 in the reading writing part. That's nutso. They say that you need a GPA of a 396 out of a 4.0. So basically, you can get like an A minus or like a B plus one time in your high school career. Otherwise, you're kind of screwed. And then you also should be taking lots of AP or IB classes. I know AP is advanced placement. I don't know what IB is. So whatever
That might be
is.
that like pre-college stuff where you take college classes while you're in high school.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's what that acronym would be for. So
I don't know. They also said if you don't have that 396, like maybe you got a C in art like I did, you would just need a higher SAT score to compensate for that. And maybe that would be able to help you squeak on in.
interesting.
Yeah. A little bit about the cash money that it costs for you to go there.
This is bananas.
So my stats are from 2019 was the numbers that I saw.
I have 2022 current that I was able to find.
So good. Okay, tell me what that is.
Okay, the mandatory fees. I'm sorry, tuition $55,473.
So it's gone up $3,000 since 2019.
A mandatory fee, which I don't know what that is $696. Like you're charging $55,473, and you can't just roll $700 into that. And get rid of the mandatory fee. Are you kidding me? Room and board, if you're staying on campus, is almost $18K.
Oh, that's gone up a lot too.
Books and supplies, these are estimates because if you're taking engineering courses, your books are ridiculously expensive.
And they're all written by your professors, and they're getting money off that.
They are about $1,300. Again, it varies.
I saw 15.
They have personal listed, which I don't know what that means, is about $3,500. So the total cost of attendance, all rolled up, if you take all that stuff, including that stupid $700 mandatory fee, is $78,898 for a single year of college, which is absolutely insane.
Could you say that number one more time, Luke?
$78,898. I mean, so okay, but there's some saving grace here, James. Let me talk about the financial aid and like how the assistance works. So the total number of students, this is for 2021 kids in there right now. The total number receiving financial aid is over 4,400. So quite a bit of the total population is receiving it. The percent of students receiving financial aid is a little over 60%. Percents receiving need-based, meaning financial need, is almost 50%. And then Pell Grants, which you don't have to pay back grants, nice. It's pretty low. It's only 17%. So here's how the monies breaks down. So based off of what your mama and your papa make, this is how much you get. So if you have a gross family income less than $75,000, you're going to get like almost all, like your cost per year is going to be $4,000. You're basically paying room and board. That's nice. About it. So it's almost 100%.
Is that $4,000 including room and board being covered, or is that $4,000 in tuition plus room and board? That would be my guess.
So you get an $82,000 scholarship, roughly. So you get all of your tuition covered.
You might be making money.
Yeah,
you told me it was 78,000. You're getting paid to go.
Well,
to school.
Well, roughly, yeah. So about 99% of applicants in that area actually get that. 75 to 100,000, you're gonna get about a $73,000 scholarship, and then it keeps on gradually going up. But here's where it gets bananas: if your parents make $225,000 to $250,000, you are still getting around $34,000 in scholarships, which
good.
is crazy. And then it starts to get to like 300,000, but that means you have multiple kids attending Stanford. So
Yeah. Wow. That is crazy. We're a little behind, but I wanted to pound through a few other stats and demographics real quick. Like, I saw that the graduation rate typically hovers around the 95% mark. That seems really good to me. And the acceptance rate it averages out to like 4.334%.
that's a really low acceptance
That's
rate.
a low acceptance rate. Females get accepted at nearly a 1% higher rate than males do. And not just to Stanford, but to the engineering school as well, which is really impressive. And so, like, to look into that a little bit further for the demographics, 51% of the graduates in the engineering programs are women and 49% are men. I'm not sure we've ever talked about a university that had that good of a split before.
So at the entire university, so that exact same split is also at the university level.
Yeah.
They have 1% more females than they do males overall
cool.
at the university.
I did see that at the master's degree level, though, it's 60% male, 40% female, but still pretty good. And then if you're looking at ethnic diversity, almost 36% white, 20% Hispanic or Latino, 16% Asian, 10% other race. I guess you lump the rest of the races together. Another 9% is a non-resident alien. So at first that was not clicking in my head, but I got what we're going for here. And then 8% Black or African American.
So this is specifically really the engineering school.
Yeah, this is the engineering school that I was looking at. And with that, I want to take a quick break for this week's Luke's Rant.
So this is a super relevant rant. So hopefully we post this in the next week or two.
Well, that's on you.
It is. I'm a little behind. Sorry, folks. And this is more just like a question for like, what's the hubbub about Elon Musk wanting to buy Twitter? It's a company. He has money. When are we not allowed to like buy a company if you have the money to buy a company? That's like, oh, I have multiple billions of dollars that would allow me to buy this other company. I don't care if it's a car company, a social media platform, a music, it doesn't matter what, a yogurt store. If you have the money to buy something and you want to buy it, like, why is it driving everybody crazy that Elon Musk wants to, like, they love it when he sends rockets to space. They love it when he sends Starlink to the Ukraine. They love it when he makes electric cars that can drive themselves. But when he wants to buy Twitter, all of a sudden people are like, oh, he shouldn't be allowed to do that. It's like, it's just weird how, like, the things that bother people sometimes. And I try to stay out of like the political stuff and like what's going on in social media, but it's unavoidable. Like, it's all over the news. It's all over it's all over Facebook. It's all over Twitter. Which,
probably all over Twitter. Yeah, ironically.
I just don't. So it's more of a question or like just something to think about. Like when have we become a society that can't just like be okay with like, I mean, we're a capitalist. I mean, the United States we're a capitalist country. You know, you have money, you buy things. You know.
I'll put this out there, Luke. I'm going to even say this is an open offer. If Elon, longtime listener, close personal friend, fan of the show,
are you offering him to buy?
If he wants partners, I think Unprofessional Engineering would be willing to go in on the Twitter purchase.
Or I thought if he wants to buy Unprofessional Engineering, I think we need to get a ground roots campaign. Our tens of followers should start hitting up Elon Musk on Twitter, and I think he should buy Unprofessional Engineering. Grassroots movement.
That's
retire.
Fair. And I mean, I think he was looking at like 43 billion for Twitter, something like that. Yeah. I'd go as low as 40.
Yeah, exactly. I would.
Okay.
Just saying.
Listeners, go tag at whatever Elon's handle is. I'll hit him up on the Twitters.
Hashtag buy Unprofessional Engineering.
Buy hashtag Unprofessional Engineering. You can give him my personal address. Happy to speak to him
about
this. That is good, Luke. the rankings. Do you want to hear about the rankings of their different programs?
So could I really quickly just do the 2025 class profile? You did the
No, you
engineering
can't.
school.
No, I refuse.
So 2,126 students matriculated in the
What is
class of
that word?
2025. That's funny you ask, James. For those of you who are uninitiated and don't know what the word matriculated means, like myself, I said to my wife, I said, "Hey, what does the word matriculate mean?" And she's like, "Oh, that's a student who has started a program." Because
Oh, well, there you
my
go.
wife works at university here in Pittsburgh, so she
Yeah.
knows what matriculated means. So
That was helpful.
so for the class of 2025, so they'll be graduating in a few years, 2,126 matriculated, 51 men, 59%, I'm sorry, 51% women, 59% men. High
49.
schools, yeah,
Math
49,
doesn't
sorry.
work that way.
It does not work that way for me. So the high schools they came from, 60% public, 27% private. Poor homeschoolers, they're not making it to Stanford. Less than 1% are homeschooled, and 13% are international. Ethnic diversity, less than 1% is Native American or Alaskan, 25% Asian, 8% Black or African American, 18% Latino. Apparently, all other international people are 12%. Hawaiian Island Pacificers are less than 1%.
How is that called out yet? Okay.
I don't know how.
Anyways.
Yeah. So white is 23%. Two or more races is 9%, and then unknown is 5%. First generation college students. This was an interesting
that's
stat.
interesting.
I've never
Yeah.
seen anywhere else. 18% of them are first time,
Wow.
meaning no one in their family has gone.
And you're going big. You're going
You are
Stanford.
You are going really big. And then geographic diversity. There are 49 states represented. I feel bad for the one state.
Yeah, I wonder who couldn't make it.
I don't know who it is. I'm guessing
Clearly
it's
Hawaii
I'm guessing it's New
there.
Jersey.
Yeah, why wouldn't it be?
Sorry, Jersey. And then there are 77 countries represented at Stanford.
Huh, that's pretty good.
Okay.
That was interesting. Okay, their rankings of their programs. So they have it really broken out. So I couldn't find the rankings of their programs on the Stanford website because personally I found it very difficult to find this information. I'm told maybe Luke did not because
I thought it was great.
good. But this is what I found from various sources. So comp sci, I always lump this in with engineering because it's kind of closely related. They're the number 2 program in artificial intelligence, number 1 for computer science. Someone else had them ranked number 2. So let's be fair, they're one of the top universities. You're going to be okay if you're going for comp sci there. Computer science and information systems, they're number 2. Into the engineerings, aerospace, they're only number 10. Biotech, number 3. Chemical engineering, woof, number 2. Engineering in general, either 4 or 5. Civil or structural, number 3. Why even bother? That was structural. I'm sorry. They also are ranked 15th for civil. Electrical and electronics engineering, number 2-ish. Material science, I always thought that would be fun, would be 3. Mech Eng, the best, they are only second best at number 2. And robotics, they come in around number 4. So again, you're probably not going to go wrong if you go to Stanford for engineering.
So the last thing I have, and if you had anything else, I just want to talk about a few notable grads.
I want to hear who was there.
So our very own Andrew Anagnost, our boss's boss at Autodesk.
Didn't know Andy went there.
So Andy, he has an MS in engineering science and a PhD in aeronautical engineering and computer science from Stanford University. I actually went on to like the bios on the website to see, and
he's listed.
Yeah, well, no, on Autodesk's page,
okay.
They have it there. But he is, he's a Stanford PhD grad.
Did you just know that, and so you went and?
Yeah, I remember him talking about it at one point about working.
I remember his degrees. I didn't know he went to Stanford. Very good for him.
So here we go. I'm just going to run through a random list of folks. Tiger Woods, Sandra Day O'Connor, Sigourney Weaver from the Alien movies.
Alien?
Yeah. Good old friend of the show, Herbie Hoover. Who else do we got? Fred Savage, The Wonder Years. Cory
and
Booker,
Winnie
I think
Cooper.
he's a senator or a congressman. I'm not sure what he is. Cory Booker, Mitt Romney, Ted Danson,
Ted
Elon Musk,
Danson.
friend of the show. So hopefully he's
Did
going
he
to listen to
quit?
this.
I feel like he probably
I
didn't
didn't look at whether
graduate.
he quit or not. John Elway. I think she's a
John Elway. Huh.
congressman, senator. I'm not sure. Denise Feinstein. Um, who else do we have here?
She's no Fred Savage.
No Fred Savage for sure. Raymond Burr. And I think there's a whole bunch of other ones, but those are kind of the notable ones that I knew the names and kind of what they did.
Sounds like they must have a decent like arts program as well then, huh?
Yeah,
Since
very.
they have a lot of like actors and whatnot. Very interesting. So last thing that I wanted to talk about is kind of those other reasons that people might want to go to Stanford. I always find this to be very interesting. So first, the big game. It's a tradition they have, sometimes referred to as the Battle of the Bay between Cal Berkeley, the Golden Bears, where I believe Aaron Rodgers went, and then Stanford, where I don't know who went there. I guess John Elway. Fountain hopping. This involves touring Stanford's main campus and perhaps dipping your feet or a little more into them. The Wacky Walk occurs during the first part of commencement when undergraduates forego a more traditional entrance and instead stride into Stanford Stadium, often in costume. Go look it up. It's interesting.
It's a thing?
It wouldn't compel me to do or to want to go there,
Oh, okay.
but it is interesting. Let's see. They're really good with helping their students with getting started with companies, right? They have funding for something called StartX. It's a Stanford student started incubator, kind of like Project Olympus, I think, at CMU. And this offers money and support to help startups get off the ground. They have a great alumni network, things like that. Fun fact, Snapchat started its life with CEO Evan Spiegel at his Stanford frat house. So that's kind of funny. And then also Stanford's most notorious tradition, Luke, is the full moon on the quad.
Oh, I can only guess what this is.
It isn't, which is odd, but I did want your take on this as a father, unlike myself, who doesn't have these concerns. This is an inter-class kissing event where freshmen and seniors interlock lips on the night of the first full moon. And apparently, according to the New York Times, students will often wear bingo boards to keep track of various types of kissers they're seeking out for the night.
My daughter's not going to Stanford based on that.
So, I mean, you know, you get, what do they say? You do you, right? But like, how is that something that's acceptable in today's social climate?
Yeah,
you know, like that really surprises me.
Yeah. Oh my.
There's going to be enough kissing going on anyways, but
yeah,
I mean,
and with COVID, my guess is now they probably stand there and shake hands.
They like air fist bump or something.
Yeah. She's not going to Stanford just for that reason.
Okay. I thought that was fair. I thought I would help you out with that one. And that was all. Those are all the reasons that you might want to go to Stanford, other than just an amazing education.
And I mean, so I think it's one of those schools that it's probably like if you're not from the Bay Area and you're like from the East Coast or Pittsburgh or something like that, being able to attend school in the Bay Area, I mean, minus the homelessness and the challenges that the Bay Area has. I imagine the campus is pretty safe and they probably keep it, but it's got to be just surreal to go to a university in the Bay Area that's that notable and that good. So
even the weather, even when they talk about recruiting athletes to schools, it's like, how does a Penn State compete with a whoever in the South, USC or somebody, or Stanford?
They
it's frozen all year round while you're in college. Why would you go to that dump? So the weather would be nice there too.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, if we have any Stanford grads other than Andrew that are listening to us all the time, why don't you write in and tell us about some of the fun times you've had, reasons you love it there, whatever the case may be. If you want to go to Stanford, if you got rejected from them, reach out. I'll listen to your complaints. I'm good like that. Hopefully, you all learned something and enjoyed our episode about Stanford University. If not, well, that's okay. And until next time.
See it.